Have you ever had a brilliant idea for an app and wondered, how does that actually get made? How does it go from a thought in your head to something real on your phone? It can seem like total chaos. But believe it or not, there's a plan, a roadmap that turns that chaos into creation. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that exact plan.
Yeah, if you've ever listened to a software team talk, it can sound like they're speaking a different language. You hear this storm of buzzwords, Agile, DevOps, Scrum, testing, and you're just thinking, okay, where do you even start with all that? It looks complicated. So that's the big question, right? What's the real journey? How do we get from that spark of an idea to a fully functioning app that people can actually use? Well, it turns out there's a process, a structure that brings a whole lot of order to that chaos.
And that structure has a name, the Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC for short. The best way to think about it is like a master blueprint for building software. It lays out these distinct phases that programmers follow to take a problem and, step by step, turn it into a real solution.
Now, at its absolute core, you can boil this blueprint down into 4 really fundamental steps. First up is analysis. What is the problem, really? Then comes design. Okay, how are we going to solve it? After that, it's coding. All right, let's actually build this thing. And finally, testing. Did we build it right? Does it actually work? Let's take a closer look at what happens in each of these stages. All right, let's break down this 4-stage blueprint. We're going to go through it step by step, starting with what is, you could argue, the most important stage of them all.
Everything, and I mean everything, kicks off with Stage 1, analysis. If you get this part wrong, well, the whole project is basically built on sand.
This stage isn't even really about code or computers. It's about deep understanding. It's about asking the hard questions, like, what is the actual problem we're trying to solve here? Who are we solving it for? And what does a win even look like? Without crystal clear answers to these questions, developers could build an amazing piece of software that solves the completely wrong problem.
Okay, next up is Stage 2, design. So once you know what you need to build, you got to figure out how you're going to build it. This is where you draw up the architectural plans.
So in this phase, developers are like architects. They take that one big problem and they break it down into smaller, much more manageable chunks. They'll draw up flowcharts and diagrams to map out how everything connects. They might even write something called pseudocode, which is basically a human-readable outline of the program's logic. And the key thing here? This all happens before a single line of real code gets written. It saves so much time down the road.
And now we get to Stage 3, coding. This is the part everybody thinks of when they picture software development, sitting down and actually writing the program.
So yeah, the main thing here is translating that design into a real program with a programming language. But there's a really key idea on this slide, iterative testing. See, great developers don't just write 1,000 lines of code and then cross their fingers and hope it works. Nope. They write a little bit, they test it. They write a little more, and they test that. It's this constant mini feedback loop.
Which brings us to the final stage of our blueprint, testing. The code is all written, but the big question remains. Does it actually do what it's supposed to do? This is where we put it through the ringer. The most important activity here is using very specific test data. Testers will literally try to break the software on purpose. They'll feed it the inputs they expect, weird inputs, even totally nonsensical inputs. Why? Because the goal is simple. Find and squash every single bug before a real user ever sees it.
So there you go. Analysis, design, coding, and testing. It's a clear, logical path that takes you from a simple idea all the way to a finished working solution. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But, and this is where things get really interesting, maybe it's not quite that simple. Because if this 4-stage model is the one perfect answer, then why are there so many other versions of it floating around?
So is this neat and tidy 4-stage model the whole story? Well, as it turns out, the reality of software development is just a little bit more flexible than that.
The second you start Googling this for yourself, you're going to notice something odd. You're going to find a whole bunch of different answers for how many stages there are in the SDLC. It can be pretty confusing.
So, for instance, a really fast-moving startup might just use a super simple 3-stage model. Plan it, make it, review it. Done. But a bigger, more established company might use a 5-stage version that adds in a formal evaluation phase at the end. And here's the crazy part. They're both right. And, oh, it doesn't stop there.
You'll see 7-stage models that add deployment and maintenance. Some supercritical projects might even use a 12-stage version. So what is going on here? Which one is the correct one?
All right, let's cut through all this confusion and get to the real answer, because there is a simple and actually pretty elegant reason why there are so many different versions of the software development lifecycle. And here it is. This is probably the most important thing to understand about the whole process. When you ask, what is the correct answer, the real answer is, well, there isn't one.
And that's the big takeaway. The SDLC isn't one single rigid recipe that everyone has to follow. It's much more like a flexible toolkit. You know, you wouldn't use a sledgehammer to hang a picture frame, right? And you wouldn't use a tiny screwdriver to build a deck. You pick the right tool for the job.
It's all about fitting the process to the problem. Building a simple mobile game, a lean 3-stage process is probably perfect. But what if you're building the flight software for a spaceship? Yeah, you're going to want every single possible stage of planning, coding, and testing you can get, and then probably add a few more for good measure.
So, in the end, the SDLC isn't about a rigid set of rules. It's a framework for thinking. It's the blueprint that helps us turn a chaotic idea into a tangible creation. And now that you have that blueprint, it really just leaves one question. What problem would you solve?